Swadikatukan Chuminika, your favorite multi-passionate traveler and creative who is here today to teach you how I am learning to read Thai. So if you've ever looked at the Thai alphabet and thought, yeah, absolutely not, you are not alone. And if you looked at it, said absolutely not, and then tried anyway, and still didn't get very far, you are still not alone. I have tried to learn to read Thai 3 times prior to this go around, and I gave up every single time because for the life of me, I could not remember 44 consonants and all the vowels and vowel things that came on the vowel side. Today I'm going to be sharing a new method that has helped me start to read Thai without knowing all 44 consonants and vowels. I know it sounds kind of impossible because 90% of the people online tell you you have to know this first, but if you're like me and you're really bad at memorizing things, repetition is your best friend. So today we are going to reverse engineer the language, starting with words and phrases that you already know and then breaking it down into smaller pieces. There are 3 steps to this method. The first step is you're going to start with sentences, short sentences that you already know. 2, you are going to look at the sentence and try to break it down into words and syllables. 3, you will break down each syllable into individual letters, markers, vowels, consonants, the whole thing. I know this does sound like a lot of work, and I'm not going to lie to you, it is. However, when you do it this way, not only are you learning the letters, but you are also connecting the sound, the spelling, the tone, and the position of everything to better help you make the connection and actually learn how to read. I'm going to teach you this method with the 3 most common phrases I used while I was in Thailand. Chan chö mani, chan mai ru, mai mi nung. Okay, so when you are starting off, obviously you can't read and you probably can't spell. So I like to put the phrase that I know into a translator and see how it is written, and then I go ahead and I write it myself. When I first started learning Thai, I actually did have a Thai teacher and she taught me how to spell my name. But when I do put my name into a translator, it comes out the same way. So that's how I know that my name is spelled correctly. And so what I want to do here is kind of break this down. I like to use Thai to English. I will put what I'm trying to say in that and have it break it down for me. And that's how I know that this is one word, this is one word, and this is my name. And so then I would take those syllables and break them down even further. So let's say I put like my consonants and my vowels on separate sides so I can really see how they differ. One of the other reasons I know a lot of people have a hard time reading Thai is that the romanization is not consistent depending on which source you are learning from. And my best advice to that would be to pick one. Pick one that resonates with you, and when you're looking at it and you hear it, it matches up. So for example, this book I have here uses aw for every single, I don't know if you can see that, but it uses aw, and I don't like that. So I don't actually use how it's spelled here. I like the one that Banana Thai does, and it uses OOR because that's how it sounds to me. Like, I don't read this as gaw. I read it as gorkai. That's what I use when I'm going through and I'm writing what everything means. So based on that, this would be cha ching, this is no nu, and here, how do I change the color. So you would have your vowel here, but this is kind of confusing because when you're looking at the vowels, you will see the double. And so you're kind of like, well, what is this little thing just hanging out? This would be a grammar rule that you're learning on the way. And there are lots of rules like this. Don't panic. Just ask Google, or if you have a book, go through it and find the exact rule for this. And so because now I know what I'm looking at and what I'm looking for, I know it's a vowel, but I know the vowel is like irregular in a way. I can go through my book and find out that this is a transformed vowel. Basically what that means is this vowel, if certain consonants that put at the end of it, you remove one of the swirls and you're left with only one, and it still has the same sound as it had before. And so I would just put that this is doing this and recognizing that a lot of times when I speak I use chan, and for men they would use pom. I now know when I'm reading something that this is chan. Super simple. You have just learned how to read and write one word in Thai. Then I would look at my reference and I would know that this is Chaw Chang. This is or ang. And this vowel is which I don't think you can tell that I had the two little lines there, but it's there. Okay? Okay. And then now you see there's like an extra line here, and you're like, what is that? And that would actually be our tone marker. So Thai has 5 tones, 4 markers. You're just gonna have to memorize them, to be quite honest, like with everything else. But that's why we're doing repetition. And so I know that if there's just one little thing, this is a low tone marker. So I'm going to speed this part up, but essentially what I do is I take the rest of the sentence and I cross-reference it with my vowel chart, my consonant chart, and I write everything down. And what I love about this method is the building of vocabulary, but also understanding, because using sentences that start with I or that I use often, it's easier to pinpoint what words are what and decipher how they are different, where a word stops and ends. These are all things that I learned over time. And so next up we have Chan Mairu, which is I don't know. So again, looking at the sentence Chan Mairu. Well, I know that this is Chan, and I know that there are 2 more syllables, Mairu. And so while I may not know, I could take an educated guess because this is clearly a vowel. So I'm assuming that is Ru, and this would be Mai. And then I would just do the same thing I did with the first sentence. And one thing that really helps with this is, one, having a book that shows you how to write. So for instance, it has like the lines and where you start and where you finish, because that is important. It's not going to help your handwriting, as you can see, because my handwriting is trash. However, when I'm looking at a letter, I know how to properly write most of them. I have learned the rule of starting with the loop and which direction you write in. That does help. And so while you're writing it, you can be saying in your head or out loud what the actual letter is called. So for example, I'm writing this Cho Ching, and kind of just like helping myself remember. And this would be Lo Nu. There is a way to say the vowels. I believe it's Sarat and then vowel. I just learned it like a few days ago, so I'm not really going to talk about that, but there is a way to say it. But for now, you can just say what the sound is. So this letter, I don't know what it is. I have to go and look it up on my chart, in your book, whichever you are using. Like I said, this method takes a really long time, but I promise you, you will get faster as you go through and do it. I almost always check the consonants first, but then you would learn that this syllable is not a consonant, it is a vowel. And so this would be written like this. And pretty much if it is above a letter, below a letter, it is either a tone marker or it is a vowel. And so just like that, we did that much faster than the first one because we already know chan. And we're getting that repetition, and we're seeing how to look at words and know when it's a new syllable. And so last but not least, we have my mi nung, which means I have no money. And yes, I did have to say that a lot. But also apparently knowing that phrase makes people think that you know more Thai than you do. So it's a good phrase to have. So looking at this breakdown, we already know chan, which you don't actually have to say. You don't have to say chan my mi nung. You can just say my mi nung and people will understand that you mean yourself. But for practice purposes, use it until you got it in your brain. We know that this means my, and based off what we've learned, we know that this is a vowel and it's the double I, so E. So we know that this would be me, my me, me, and then this would be nung. And breaking it down this way again, usually when you're looking at it all in one go, especially because I have mine spaced out, because obviously it would look something more like this. Right, that's typically how it looks all squished together and it's very confusing in your brain. That is how I write it normally, but again, kind of condensing it and taking it slowly because this looks a lot more intimidating than this. So think about that like as you're writing it, but also, again, we have gone over some of these words already, and so now we can guess and we can kind of break it down and it becomes less intimidating to try and read. And then you would just go through and do the same thing that you've been doing. So again, this is a 3-step process in which you start with words or sentences that you already know. You break them down into words or syllables based on your level. At first, you won't recognize any words or syllables, but after a while, you will start to recognize words and possible syllables. And then finally, you're going to break those down into individual letters, vowels, tone markers, eventually clusters, and all of that stuff later down the line. And the reason I think this works is not only are you giving yourself a reason to care based on things that you already know, you are able to take things letter by letter and make the shapes actually mean something. By doing it this way, you're seeing it as a whole. You're recognizing vowels, you're recognizing when vowels are silent, you're recognizing like clusters, you're able to recognize tone markers, and kind of like bring the big picture. So I do have a little homework for you guys today. I want you to pick 3 phrases that you already know in Thai. I don't care if you got it from a song or a drama, your favorite actor, but look them up in Thai script and break them down as we did today, and let me know in the comments how this process was for you and what phrases you learned. And if this helped you at all, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and come back for more Thai learning tips.